Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Gray, and I want to welcome you to week 4 of CWI 101. Just a couple of housekeeping things to get out of the way before we start talking about and delving into week 4. I graded the assignments, the discussion, and the assignments for week 2 and got that finished yesterday on Saturday. And there were quite a few people who did not get full credit for the assignment. And the reason that is because they were not following instructions. The instructions specifically asked for two things to be turned in. And some people turned in screenshots of having gone through the program, and some people turned in a reflection, but only one of those was turned in. And to get full credit, you needed to do both, or if for some reason you couldn't figure out how to do a screenshot, there was a sentence you were supposed to include there. And I looked for that, and if that wasn't there, you only got half credit. So be extra double sure that you are following the instructions and are submitting everything that needs to be submitted. I even said in my week 3 announcement, which I know was not a video announcement, but I even said be sure to turn in both of those things. And still, there were a lot of people who didn't do that. So, if you're wondering about the best way to keep your grades up and get an A in this class, you need to turn your work in on time and you need to follow all of the instructions. That is very, very important. Looking into week 4, we are going to be talking more about advising and the advising process at CWI. The first thing you'll need to do this week is to read the introduction to the lesson. That should only take a few minutes. And then your readings are going to be about 4 chapters that have to do with that, and you have a reading quiz. Your reading quiz is the first grade that'll show up for week 4. Um, So after you get finished with those 4 chapters, you need to take that 10-point reading quiz just so we know that you have done that. The discussion this week is on degree planning and student advising. And as always, that discussion needs to be in by Thursday evening before midnight Mountain Time. And then you need to remember to go back and respond substantively to at least 2 people by Sunday evening. And when I say respond substantively, I saw a lot of what I call cheerleader posts this past week. Oh, really good post. I agree with that, and that sounds great, and I'm so glad you do that. That is not a substantive post. You want to think around 75 to 100 words. Doesn't have to be that exactly, but you want a good 4 or 5 or 6 lines of text in there, and you definitely want to add to the conversation by asking questions or extending or expounding on what people have said. So let's avoid those cheerleader posts, those really short posts, and get something substantive in there. And of course, you'll get full credit for that. So again, initial posts due Thursday, responses due by Sunday. And I can't grade anything that comes in after that time. All right, you won't get credit for it. So if there's some reason that you cannot see yourself getting that work done, and it is a documentable reason according to the syllabus, you need to let me know ahead of time. Okay. Otherwise, I am holding you to the due dates that are already on the calendar. Finally, this week, your big assignment is not so big, but it's the one where you're going to assume the role of an advisor and write an email to one of 7 people. Their scenarios are all already printed out for you. You can pick any one of those. Needs to be a good paragraph, and then you'll write a reflection paragraph after that according to the instructions. Might take you a little while to craft that email. Don't think you can get all that done in 20 minutes because you probably can't. Practice good time management. And I look forward to seeing all of those things. If you need any help, if you need any clarification on something, please reach out to me by email or either during drop in times on Friday. And I will be happy to get you on the right path. So let's have a really good week 4, and I look forward to seeing you online.